Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Grave, the podcast where I talk to friends, family, and even strangers about their paranormal experiences. This week, I'm talking to Stacy Christine. Stacy is a life coach, a hypnotist, and a former makeup artist. Before this conversation, I had never spoken a word to Stacy. She was actually referred to me by Nikki Fontaine, who we spoke to in episode 3. Stacy reached out to me via email and said that she had some experience with the paranormal, and some of the things that she told me in her emails were too good for me to pass up. As you'll find out in the episode, Stacy has had to deal with a fair amount of death in her life, and it seems to me that because of that, she has been able to establish some sort of connection with the other side. We delve into religion, hypnosis, mediumship, and how Stacy came to be in the place that she is. So without further ado, I give you Stacy.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
Awesome, thank you so much for doing this. So how do you know Nikki?
Nikki and I actually got chosen to work or to open MAC Cosmetics' first ever makeup studio.
Oh, cool.
And we were basically co-workers for a while, but we stayed friends since then.
Awesome. So both of you do, I mean, I knew Nikki did makeup, but so you do makeup as well?
I used to have a license for cosmetology and also certified in all kinds of makeup situations, but it wasn't COVID that made me stop, but that was one of the reasons why I did actually stop. So now I just primarily work online.
Nice. Well, don't we all? So whenever you're ready.
The reason why I was so nervous about this is because it's so new to me, but I know it's a part of my purpose and stuff like that. So that's why I made sure to still hop on and do this. Let me turn off my phone before we get go live.
Yeah, like the little horn sound to add to our audio. We are recording, so you're on, lady.
Cool. So thank you, Josh, for having me. I appreciate you. I love the idea of your podcast. It's super cool because I've been super intrigued for the past basically year, I guess, with ghosts and goblins and spirits. So
nice.
I go by Coach Stacy Christine on Instagram, and for the past year, I've been really in tune with spirits more than anything ever. I would say my journey with knowing about, I guess, the other side started when I was a kid and I was watching shows like Unsolved Mysteries and Quantum Leap. Those two shows kind of always stuck out to me. Super old school, but Unsolved Mysteries was sometimes talking about ghosts in bars and stuff like that. Quantum Leap was talking about how they didn't necessarily say it in the show, but it was basically like a spirit would jump inside of somebody's body and create a different future for the person that they jumped inside of, and it usually was for the better. So okay. I don't know why that's always been in the back of my head. It hasn't really always been in the back of my head. It was really honestly whenever you were like, tell me, what is your experience? And I was like, the first time that I ever saw anything about spirits was really when I was watching TV. And now it kind of like, it sits in my mind a lot because I would say in 2016 was actually when I first kind of encountered being around the supernatural, and I just got out of a really, really bad relationship. I had a salon in Long Island, New York, and I was really, really tapped into just bettering myself somehow, some way. And so I was connected to just listening to all of the most motivational, spiritual stuff. And I also got into smoking marijuana.
Sure, they go hand in hand.
I guess so, huh? I was in a really bad state, so I didn't want to drink so much. So I was like, you know what? Let me kind of use something to compensate for me not being an alcoholic. So I picked up weed, and it really helped me kind of like just tap in, I guess is what you can say.
Hmm.
So I was coming out of my salon and I was like, really, I was excited, I was motivated, I was just vibrating really high. And I guess there was an audio that came on. I believe it was Maya Angelou, and she basically said something like, she's not doing this. She wasn't doing what she was doing for herself. She was doing it for the 10,000 people standing behind her. And I opened my eyes and I saw like thousands of women that were faceless standing around me in my car. And in my head, I was like, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for all of the spirits before me. And so that's when I was like, this is a little weird, but I can't really tell anybody about this. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. So that was like the first like encounter of seeing spiritual beings, I guess.
So you were sitting in your car, you blinked or opened your eyes, and there were just a bunch of faceless women standing just surrounding your car.
Yeah, right in front of me.
And what is it that, like, when you you kind of got this sense that like you're doing it for the women? What did you feel at the time you were doing for the women?
So the hard times that I came out of was a domestic violence situation. My husband turned abusive and it could have been worse, honestly. Like I could have been killed, but I could have also really been beaten down really badly. And when I was in my salon, that was when Facebook Live was actually like really popping. And so I was going Facebook Live once a week to share like general stories about how to overcome that. And just one of the days when I went out into my car and I was just trying to relax and calm down after my salon day, it's just those faceless women appeared in front of me. And it was just really, really spiritual. And you're honestly the first person that I ever told about that experience.
Well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. That's very brave of you. And like that, and that makes this whole thing come so full circle for, the thousands, millions of women who, go through that. That makes a lot of sense now. So thank you for saying that.
No problem. And ironically, so in this year, it's 2021, I was able to get close with my aunt, who was my mom's younger sister. And my mom just kept everything to herself. She never told us about any of the traumas that she went through. But my aunt was able to share with us that my grandmother actually went through very traumatic experiences, and my mom and her sisters saw it and experienced it. And my grandmother actually thought that she couldn't survive without a man next to her. So my mom and her sisters literally went through 6 different stepfathers. My grandmother married 6 different men. My aunt and my mom were still living in her house. So, and they experienced so much traumatic stuff, from verbal, emotional and physical abuse.
Sure.
That me seeing those spirits, it makes sense now to this day. That happened in 2016, but me seeing those spirits to this day makes sense because I want to be the voice for women to understand that they don't have to have a man next to them to be successful, and they don't have to rely on a man. They can, especially in this world that we're living in now, they can have, do, and be anything that they want as long as they believe in themselves. That 2016 experience is kind of like full circle right now to me.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
After seeing those spirits, I didn't really, a lot of the stuff that I experienced in 2016, when I was like, I literally had to surrender to God at the end of the day. Everything that I was doing, because how old was I? I was probably like 31. I think I was 31. All the things that I was doing at that time was not working for me. I kept on getting into abusive relationships, and my husband, who I married, put his hands on me, and I was like, holy crap, I don't want this to go any further, especially since at that time I had a 7-year-old son. He's 13 now, but I had a 7-year-old son that wasn't his kid, and I didn't want my son to think that that was what a man was supposed to be.
Certainly.
So I said, God, please take the wheel, because I can't do this by myself anymore. And that, I believe that happened around the same time as me seeing the spirits all around me. So I got kind of tapped in around them, but I didn't fully believe it, didn't fully understand it. Whatever. I just kept trying to do what I could do on this physical earth, you know? And so in 2020 was whenever it got really real for me. So 2020, it was January 2020 when my mom passed away. And I feel as though it was like a strain of COVID, but nobody really knew about COVID as of yet. Right. Because my sister, who's 16 years older than me, was actually taking care of my mom. They both lived I'm part Native American, so they both lived on the reservation at the time. So my sister was taking care of my mom, and my sister and my nephew actually got pneumonia at the same time. So my sister couldn't check in on my mom because she had pneumonia. She didn't want to make my mom sick. And so the last time my sister checked in on my mom was like, yeah, I don't know if I should go to the doctor because I haven't really been taking my medicine. I don't feel too well, blah, blah, blah. So my sister was like, take care of yourself, Mom. I love you. And she left, but she didn't go back for about 4 days later because her and her son had pneumonia. And so when she went back to check on my mom actually passed away. And maybe like a week later is whenever I went to Oklahoma, which is where my tribe is and where she died at and where we buried her. And I just felt so freaking connected to her spirit. It was so strange. I'm not even fucking lying. It was so strange. Like I would go to the bathroom and there would be it's like the movies. It would be like somebody was literally talking through me and I'm looking at the mirror having a communication with this person in the mirror. I couldn't go out into the house and tell anybody that I'm talking to my mom in the bathroom. I just kind of like took it in, and I just felt like I was the closest with my mom whenever she did pass. Around the funeral time, whenever we was like, the wake, and it's a couple days long when you're burying somebody. And so February 1st was actually the day that we did bury her. Ironically, it was the 1-year anniversary for my boyfriend and I don't know how that even happened, but it happened. It's all God's hand. I can't explain it. Literally can't explain it. And so I buried my mom in the morning, and then my sister just moved into a larger house, and so she still had her apartment available that she didn't turn in the keys yet. And so my boyfriend and I were able to celebrate our year anniversary in her apartment that was kind of sort of abandoned, I guess you can say. All it had was a pull-out couch in it. That's all you need. So that's basically and a bottle of tequila. Here's to that. So we're in the apartment, and at the funeral home, my boyfriend was like, do you have a piece of tape? And I'm like, no. And he was like, well, I need a piece of tape because I need to put it over top of my belly button. When you're in a funeral home, that's where the spirits come out of. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I can't help you though. I don't know what to tell you. But that stuck in the back of my mind. So the day that we were celebrating February 1st, I had my finger in his belly button. I don't know why. It was just in the back of my head. I'm like, I'm going to put my finger in your belly button, whatever. I wasn't doing it. I don't know if I was doing it intentionally. I have no freaking clue. But I ended up popping up out of the bed, and I just started pacing back and forth in the apartment. And my boyfriend just ended up going to sleep. He didn't it's a very traumatic experience to have to bury your mom. So he couldn't really tell me nothing. He just was like, all right, whatever she has to do, let her do. And so I felt like I was pacing for at least an hour back and forth. And then all of a sudden I remember snapping out of this pace. And I was like, baby, my mama says she really loves you. And thank you so much for taking care of her baby girl. He was looking at me like, what the fuck? But I stepped away and I kept going back. And it wasn't until really the next day that I was able to process all of the things that were happening during my whole little trance situation. But basically, my mom was communicating to me. And go ahead.
You know, I'm going to ask something. So I just, I'm so curious. So it's like, I guess from the trance thing, is it like, did it feel different from when you were in the bathroom to when you were pacing, or was it kind of that same feeling of like, did it feel like something like took over your body, or were you just kind of like having a conversation with something, presumably your mother, who you felt in the room with you?
It felt like I was having a conversation with somebody. I didn't necessarily see like her silhouette or anything. I didn't necessarily see her or anything, but I was having a conversation with her as I was pacing throughout the entire house.
Were you speaking verbally, or were you just kind of thinking the conversation?
I was thinking the conversation. I wasn't speaking out loud. Okay. I think it was to kind of keep the tone down so my boyfriend can finish sleeping. But this was actually, so my mom lived in New York City with me, and she moved to Oklahoma after she left me. So this was the first place that she lived after she left me here in New York City.
Okay.
So I don't know if her spirit was just still there or not. Sure. I honestly do feel like her spirit was still there. And that's the reason why I was able to tap in with her. But some of the things that she said was she was found dead January 27th of 2020. But the thing that she told me while I was pacing back and forth was she actually died on January 25th of 2020. And she said also that the day that she got diagnosed with dementia was the day that she basically killed herself, because she no longer had her freedom to travel. They took away her driver's license. They took away everything from her. Somebody now has to be responsible for everything that she does. My mom is the beyond independent woman. Like, she would never let anybody help her carry her groceries in, carry any boxes in. Right. She would take care of it for herself. So the day that she got diagnosed with dementia, which was when she was in the house that I was in, now that I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, holy fuck, it's all making sense now. But the house I was in was where she found out that she was diagnosed with dementia. So she told me that she died January 25th, not the 27th. She told me that she honestly felt as though she committed suicide whenever she found out that she got dementia. And then she also said that my whole boyfriend situation, because my boyfriend never got to meet her. He only got to hear her over the phone, but he never got to meet her in person. Right. So when I told my boyfriend, my mama said thank you for taking care of her baby girl, and she thanks you for taking care of her. My boyfriend was like, if you would have came to me a second time and said anything about your mama, I would have left and went up to your sister's house up the block, because that was some creepy ass shit. And I don't blame him, but it is what it is. So
I just have one more question before we leave this, just because. So when you're in the trance, do you remember everything, or were there parts of it was kind of like a fog, you were just kind of getting all this information, or was it like a very coherent, like we're having a conversation and it's all being collected in my mind right now?
So at that very moment, all of the information was being collected. When I got out of the trance, only things that I'm telling you is what I remember. Okay. But I was literally in this trance for hours. Oh. And so my physical self, my flesh self, remembers those very important parts. She felt as though she died when she got diagnosed with dementia. She actually died on January 25th, and she actually loves my boyfriend that she never met. Like, those three things my physical self remembered. But I know I was in this trance for a couple of hours, and I'm sure she said a lot more things than that. But that's what my actual physical self can remember right now.
Gotcha. Awesome. Moving on.
So I would say I felt really connected to her, but also they kind of basically said she died in her sleep. So I did not want to go to sleep the entire time that I was in Oklahoma. I literally did not want to sleep. I was on a weird one, like a total weird one. My sisters are like, yeah, you were on something whenever you were here in Oklahoma. But it was like, because she died in her sleep, I didn't want to go to sleep. Right. I didn't want to go to sleep during this entire week or weekend that I was there. So it was and when you're in that stance, actually, when your conscious mind is not really physically there and your subconscious mind can kind of lead you, That's actually when people really tap into you. That's actually when you can actually manifest the life of your dreams. That's when you can really program your brain, because your subconscious mind is always going, and your conscious mind has to be down in order for you to really be able to program your subconscious mind. So I'm now a certified professional hypnotist, so that's the reason why I'm kind of like equating it all together. But I wasn't sleeping at all during the entire week, which I felt as though was the reason why I was able to tap in with her so much and communicate with her so much, because my conscious mind wasn't the barrier, that it wasn't like guarding me anymore. It was allowing me to actually talk to the spirits. After my mom passed in 2020, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to go back to a job. So this is another weird part about tapping in with spirits. But my brother at my mom's funeral, he's 21 years older than me. So when I was born, he was 21 years old, but he was already enrolled into the Marines. So he was overseas by the time that I was born. I never even really met him in person until I was 23, when my sister's husband passed away. So I never really experienced my brother at all, because we were so far apart and he was so like involved in the Marines for so many years. But when my mom passed away, because he was the first and I was the last, my mom had 5 kids in total. He pulled me aside literally on February 1st, actually. The day before me and my boyfriend had the situation. That day, my brother pulled me inside and was like, Stacy, you know, we have a different kind of love that we got from our mom. I was the first and you were the last. We were the only 2 children that didn't necessarily have to take care of the people after us, because he didn't really take care of my sister that came after him. And I was the last, so I didn't have anybody to take care of. So our mom loved us a little bit differently. And he was like, Stacy, you have a light around you that our mother had, but she didn't allow it to come through because a lot of her past demons is what held her back. And he told me, Stacy, don't let anybody steal your light. Don't let nobody steal your light. And instantly I was connected to him. Even though we were 21 years apart, I really never saw him at all. That conversation right there got me really, really connected to him. And so that was January 2020. In August of 2020, he called me asking me for advice. I'm literally the youngest of his father's side, youngest of my mother's side, and he's calling me for advice about leaving his wife that he was with for 33 years, which was basically the amount of time that I've been living. He's been with this woman for 33 years, and that was the amount of time that I've been living. I'm sitting here like, why in the world? But he was like, God told me to reach out to you. And I was like, okay, this was weird as fuck, but why not?
Well, we're doing it.
It was like, we're in here, right? And it was one of the most impactful calls that I ever had. I was giving him advice at first, but I was also telling him, like, I don't know what the hell I want to do with my life. I feel kind of lost. Like, by that time I was an orphan. My dad passed away in 2008. My mom passed away in 2020. I'm talking to my brother and he's like, so tell me what's been going on in your world, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, actually, a lot of people have been reaching out to me saying that the conversations that we had years prior has helped them to become a better person, a more positive person, putting them in better environments and stuff like that. And he was like, Stacy, if you're helping people, then you might as well continue to help people. So he pushed me to become a coach, basically. He was the reason why I was like, a life coach. Yeah. Okay. In 2020 is when I said, I'm going to be a life coach. And we would have like text message conversations back and forth. But that was pretty much all. That was like the most impactful conversation that I really had. And so March of 2021, I have a pillow I would show you, but like, I'm sure you're not even going to show it in the audio or whatever. But I have a pillow of all 5 of my mom's kids at the funeral. And on my brother, we basically were standing the oldest to the youngest, right? On my brother, there was like a silhouette of beautiful light that was on him, like that was on his suit. And I texted him in March and I was like, hey brother, how you doing? I would love to talk to you soon or whatever. And he never responded back. Unfortunately, I found out 3 days later that he did pass away as well. And I wanted to tell him in that conversation, thank you for pushing me to become a coach, because I've never felt more fulfilled in my entire life. So I had to tell him that at his funeral. But I actually call him my prophet, because he saw things before I even saw them and relayed them to me on the physical realm so that I could actually put forth action.
And I just want to jump in here too, because now that I'm hearing all this, so you've dealt with your fair share of death throughout your life with different people. Do you feel like, just having to deal with that has kind of put you more in tune with, the more spiritual aspect of living?
Absolutely. I mean, my mom kept us away from all of her family because I'm Black, white, and Native American. So I was born in the South and raised in the North because she didn't want us to have that racism kind of situation. My mom was white and Native American. My dad was Black. So she pushed us away from all of our family. So I really only had my close relatives, my close siblings, and my mom that I could even grow up with. I really didn't know my cousins like that for the most part. I knew of them, but I really didn't know them. I really didn't know my aunties like that. Right. But in 2020, my mom passed, and in 2021, my brother passed. That was when like the closest family members that I could ever have could really pass away. And that was whenever I was like, okay, we're more than just our beings on this earth. Like, as they always say, we have a spirit inside of us. And when you pass away your flesh, your spirit is still residing. And because of my brother who came to me and said all of these things in 2020 to me, and then my mom passing away, that's the only reason why I'm even on this podcast with you, is because I was able to communicate with these people who are now no longer here. So I know that it's a lot more than what we are physically here.
Just flesh and bone, yeah. So you're a life coach, but you currently do hypnosis as well.
Yeah.
So let's unpack that.
Sure. The definition of hypnosis is it's a deep level of relaxation and focused concentration to your subconscious mind. So a deep level of relaxation just means that your hypnotist gets you very relaxed, very calm. Because at the end of the day, we technically have two brains. One is our conscious brain, one is our subconscious brain. So our conscious brain is what allows us to be on this podcast right now, is what allows us to purchase our house, purchase our car, figure out who we want to be in a relationship with, and choose our career, right? That's what we use when we're awake. But our subconscious mind is literally every single program that has ever happened to you since you were a child, even generational programming that has happened to you. So some of your generations prior, if they've been through some shit, some of that actually comes onto you unless you actually heal from it at the end of the day. So with hypnosis, the relaxed, focused concentration, the hypnosis has to get you relaxed so that your conscious mind can shut the fuck up, sit down, lay down for a little bit, and your subconscious mind can take in the focused concentration that your hypnotist is doing. So if you feel as though you have blockages in your life, like you're self-sabotaging yourself, it's a lot of procrastination, anxiety, inner child work, all of those things is what the hypnotist can help you work on. Even the crazy thing is, when I was at my mama's funeral, my brother, not my oldest brother, the 21-year-old, but the brother that's 13 years older than me, my boyfriend is a smoker. He still smokes cigarettes. So we was going outside for a smoke break. We were telling everybody who was eating dinner, we're going outside for a smoke break. And my brother was like, oh, who's smoking? And I was like, it's him. It's not me. It's him. And so my brother was like, oh no, you need to get rid of that. Now I remember him chewing tobacco when I was a kid and spitting that shit out and all that stuff. Yeah. I was like, how did you get rid of it? And he was like, I got hypnotized. So in 2020, he told me that he got hypnotized so that he can get rid of the habit of smoking. But it wasn't until, where are we in right now? 2021, that hypnosis even fell into my lap, because I enrolled into a course, And that course, the coach said, I know that all my people that are coming into this course need hypnosis because it's changed my life. So my first experience was in a group hypnosis session with all of the rest of the classmates that I had. And I saw so many breakthroughs on this Zoom call with all of the women that saw like visions of maybe people that have passed, or ex-boyfriends, or situations that have hindered them in this current time. Like, because the crazy thing about our subconscious mind is, like, when you were like a child, 5 years old, playing on the playground, and you just start like singing at the top of your lungs, at the top of the slide, and then a kid at the bottom will be like, shut the fuck up, you sound terrible. That right there can get inputted in your subconscious mind, that you're a terrible singer, that you're a terrible speaker, that you cannot perform in front of people. And that is what causes you to push down that actual ability when you get older. So now you're having self-doubt about yourself. Now you have so many insecurities because when you were on the playground, Tommy said that you sucked at singing. You know, your subconscious mind is what stores all of those feelings that come from you trying to express yourself when you were a child. And maybe somebody, it could be your parents, your cousin, your uncle, your brother, your teacher, your guidance counselor, told you know what, you should not be going in that direction. So your subconscious mind tells you, you know what, you're not going to be good at that. So you're not going to go. So when you go and try to do those things, or you don't even attempt to try to do those things, because your subconscious mind is telling you you're not good at it. So that's what hypnosis does. It speaks to your subconscious mind to let your subconscious mind know that you can do those things, that you are unstoppable, that you can break from smoking. They even have stuff where you can stop peeing in the bed. Like, at the end of the day, you just have to, your subconscious mind needs to be talked to, needs to be catered, needs to know that they're loved and that they're safe, and know that it can do and be whatever it wants.
So it's breaking down barriers and walls.
Exactly. Limiting beliefs, self-limiting beliefs, that's what it can help you do. Absolutely. And freaking CEOs, athletes, singers, major people actually do hypnosis, but nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about it at all.
I feel like it's almost maybe, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like it's almost like a taboo thing. You know, I feel like people kind of look at it as like kind of like faux psychology in a way.
Absolutely, because of what the movies program us to think. What the movies was, you're gonna dangle a clock in front of your eyes and you're getting sleepy. Right. And then also Las Vegas has shows where people hypnotize people and bring them on stage to do crazy things. There is entertainment hypnosis sessions that happen for entertainment purposes, but it's real life. People are getting hypnotized to do those crazy things on stage. When I got trained to be a hypnotherapist, they showed me a video of a man actually being hypnotized to murder a person.
My goodness.
That's how serious it can be. You can literally hypnotize a person to do good or bad. I choose to do good, not the bad.
Power.
Yes.
So obviously you can do hypnosis and, you know, help someone quit smoking or quit a sex addiction or, you know, whatever it may be, or, you know, get some self-worth or whatever they may be lacking. But is there a spiritual component to the hypnosis that, you know, you've come across?
It is very spiritual. Within the last few months, I actually have nightmares, and I don't typically have nightmares. But recently, not too long ago, I had a nightmare of, I was just like, before even Halloween, I was just like running in a maze and somebody was coming after me to kill me and people around me were being killed. And I talked to my boyfriend after, like, we were coming from the liquor store. I'm like, yeah, babe, I was having a nightmare and I'm not quite sure. I don't even know how to process it, but it creeped me the fuck out. And he was like, Stacy, you're actually working with a lot of different people's spirits. And so you are going to have to fight off those spirits for them because you are tapping into their spirit too. And I was like, that's a good way of putting it. And thank God it's only a dream that I'm having or a nightmare that I'm having to where I can fight it off.
Mm.
But I have to do a lot of my own spiritual inner work before I even get on a call with a person. I have to do a lot of spiritual and inner work after I get off of a call with a person, because it's energy. Energy can come through any portal, the phone, Zoom, in
Yep.
person. So for me, I do have to do a lot of spiritual stuff so that I can stay aligned to my higher purpose and not go into the deep end.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy to do. Well, so, and to go along with that, you had mentioned, what was it? Your boyfriend's uncle or something like that.
Yeah.
There's something going on there.
Yeah. So recent. So of course, we were celebrating my boyfriend's uncle. So we call him Tio in Spanish. That's uncle in Spanish. So Tio. Tio was celebrating the fact that he got like employee of the month or something like that at his job. And he's kind of had a up and down relationship with all of his kids because of being addicted to women and all the alcohol and all that other stuff. So him being in his age that he is now, 60, 70, I don't even know how old, but he is doing well in his job. He was showing me his certificate, and he doesn't speak any kind of English at all. He only speaks Spanish. And so my boyfriend obviously can speak both.
Mm-hmm.
And something just came over me and was like, baby, can you tell your uncle, can you tell Tio that his father is really, really proud of him right now? And so my boyfriend said it in Spanish, relayed it. And Tio was like, okay, all right. And I was like, your father wants me to tell you that you need to be doing this for your kids. They need to see you do this. And my boyfriend was like, okay, I'm going to say it. I don't even remember the next translation that I got, but I really did feel as though Tio's father, so it was my boyfriend's grandfather at the end of the day, Tio's father was trying to relay a message to me so that I could tell his son. But because it was a language barrier, my boyfriend started to get creeped the fuck out. And this was the first time that I ever got anything translated through me to speak to somebody. No, I wouldn't even say it's actually the first time. It was the second time. Because when I was in Oklahoma, when my mom was being buried, we were at the casino and there was this woman that was just crying terribly. And I just went up to her and hugged her. And I was like, I told her, don't be worried. It's going to be okay. There's no need to worry. It's going to be okay. As I was walking away, the girl said, I needed to hear that. But I just kept doing about my thing because I was in the middle of, burying my mom or whatever. But this time it was a strong translation. Like I needed to directly tell this person this one thing. The only hiccup was I couldn't relay it in Spanish. And so the last message that I wanted to say to Tio, my boyfriend didn't even say. He got creeped the fuck out. So he was like, no, I can't even say that. I can't even say that. So my spirit or my flesh, I don't even know, was so angry. I just turned around and went into the house and went to bed and went to sleep. Like, why can't you relay this message to me? And there was like no way for me to relay it. I didn't even think to get on the phone and do Google Translate, but that would have been a little bit too much anyway at the end of the day.
Time consuming. Wait 1 second.
Yeah, so the third message that I really wanted to say to him, it couldn't come out. And so I went to bed. And then the next day, after my boyfriend was like talking to his uncle Tio in the morning, he was like, yeah, Tio said that he actually felt a presence in his house after he spoke with you, Stacy. He felt the spirit in his house after he spoke with you. And me being in my flesh, I'm like, that's fucking creepy. It's so creepy. It's so creepy. And I don't fully understand it all. I really don't. But I wanted to come on here and just share my experience, share my journey, and just like see if other people, I know for a fact that other people have experienced this, because when I first started my hypnosis situation, I actually launched the course And I was like, hey, anybody who comes a part of this course, they're going to be able to get a group hypnosis too. So I brought my hypnotist on so that she could do the group hypnosis session with everybody that was around. And at the end of the hypnosis, we like to kind of allow people to say what they saw, what they felt, what they feeling, whatever. And so at the end of the group hypnosis session, there was at least 5 people that were like, yeah, when I was a kid, I used to see spirits, but I told God to not let me see that anymore because it creeped me the fuck out. Then there was another person that was like, yeah, there was a moment where I had to translate a message at Applebee's to this girl, and I didn't even know what it was about. This was all before I had this Totio moment that I'm connecting with other people that can connect with spirits too. The quote, you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. You are your ancestors' wildest dreams. I feel as though that is a straight fact because we have so much stuff at our fingertips that our ancestors never could have. We actually have a privilege of being able to heal from our past traumas. Most generations before us did not have that privilege,
right.
You know? So we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. And I do feel as though our ancestors are guiding us. They want the best for us. But the only way that we can get to that is by tapping in, is what I call it, tapping into them, letting them talk to you, letting them guide you, and not being scared of it. I'll say this one thing too. When I turned 36, which is actually the year that my mom had me, she had me when she was 36. My mom was no longer here. So I was really hurt whenever my birthday came around. I'm not gonna lie, but I love to go to the beach. I love to just say my gratitude to the ocean, to the universe, and then just talk, you know? And so on my birthday, I was talking to my mom, and there was a moment, I was bawling, crying. There was a moment where I felt like she was sitting next to me on the rock. And I was like, Mom, I wish you could be here. I hope I'm making you proud, because that was actually the day that I was launching my 4th course. I was like, Ma, I'm doing this for you. All of this is for you. I don't want anybody who comes across me to be miserable, especially because of the past traumas that they went through. I want to live my life so happy because you never got the chance to, based off of the shit that you went through. And I'm just so thankful for you. I felt her sitting next to me on the rock. And then whenever I kind of tapped out of it and started walking to my car, I wish I had it right here. I found a big ass feather, a massive feather in the sand. And so immediately before I even got out of the sand, I Googled, what is the spiritual meaning of finding a feather? And it literally said, your ancestors, somebody close to you that has passed away, is listening to everything that you have to say. I really felt this woman sitting next to me. I really did, when I was talking to the ocean, basically. And then a massive feather. I've been going to this beach since my Facebook memory just showed me November 11th of 2020 is when I first started going to the beach regularly to tap into the universe and talk and just cleanse myself, you know? And so me seeing that feather and seeing that actual spiritual meaning, I was like, okay, these spirits really are guiding us. They really are moving us along. They really do want the best for us. And we just have to not be scared of it. We just have to follow it as best as we can.
I know, you believe in God, but because of your Native American heritage, I'm also wondering if you carry any of that over to kind of your belief system now, or is it a much more kind of Christian worldview that you have?
It's funny that you say that, because my brother, the prophet, one of the things that he said in August of 2020, whenever he asked me for advice, one of the things that he told me was, Stacy, you have African American and Native American in you. That means you're anointed. That means you are really tapped into the spirits. I don't want you to ever think that you're not. He didn't use the words tapped in, but I want you to know that you really do have an alignment just because of where you came from with the spiritual world. And that I didn't even fully process that whenever he told me that at that time, but it was always in the back of my head kind of thing. So it's not necessarily God so much. At the end of the day, we all have a higher being above us. We all have a higher power within us.
Sure.
People call it infinite spirit. People just call it spirit. People say God. No matter what, we have a spirit inside of us that wants us to excel, that wants us to be great. That they say in the Bible that God put you in your mother's womb and knew your purpose before you were even in your mother's womb, type of thing. Like, I don't quote Bible verses, as you can tell. I just slaughtered that whole Bible verse.
No. You got more than most people, I'm sure.
I'm not the type of person that will quote a Bible verse, but I do firmly believe in higher spirits. I do firmly believe in infinite spirit, infinite intelligence. I do firmly believe in the universe. The universe transpires for us in many different ways, and it's all based off of our internal energy, our internal feeling. And if we truly do love ourselves, do we truly feel worthy and deserving of the abundance that we deserve? That's what I fully believe in. It's not necessarily, of course I believe in God, but it's not just God that is guiding me. It's the infinite intelligence that's around all of us, no matter if you believe in Allah, God, or just the universe. It doesn't matter, but there is something around us that is guiding us every single day.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense to me. And the last thing too is, so life coach, hypnotist, to me, it really sounds like you're tiptoeing on the line of like medium, kind of sensitive, type of, like readings. Is that something that you would you attribute that title to yourself, or do you think it's a different type of kind of talking to spirits?
Ironically, how I got into hypnosis was I watched my coach at the time get on an Instagram live, and she talked about how hypnosis changed her life. And she was like, I actually have kind of like medium abilities, but then that was the only thing that she said, and they went on to something else. And I was sitting there like, what is this mediumship stuff?
What's going on with that?
What is going on? Like, one thing that I teach is that when you're healing, you're going to be evolving. And the more that you heal, is more of your gifts are going to be revealed. So I have been on this healing journey since 2016, before my mom even passed away.
Yep.
And more and more gifts have been brought to me that I'm capable of doing. So you bringing up the mediumship right now, it makes me want to go straight to Google and see what is that really about. And I don't want it to be like this weird taboo kind of situation. I want it to just organically come out of me, type of thing. And I strongly believe, like I said, in our spirits and our guides and God and universe. I believe that I will be guided to the right direction. But as of now, I don't have that mediumship title. I don't even feel as though I could say it, even though I've had these crazy experiences. But you never know what the future will hold.
So that was Stacy's time on the grave. As I've stated previously, I hoped this episode would be a little different from the previous ones, and that we broached on certain subjects that we may not have touched on in the previous episodes. I'm very glad that Stacy was able to come on the podcast and be so open about all the things she's been through. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope that you were able to learn something from Stacy. And as I said, she is a life coach. You can find her on Instagram at Coach Stacy Christine. As you can tell, she's a very bright, bubbly person. So if you're looking for someone to steer you in the right direction in life, she certainly seems like someone who will get you in the right place. As always, I'm your host, Josh King, and I hope to have you all back for some more scary stories.